So today we shall be getting into branches of statistics. So this is also a part of the fundamentals. So one thing, we can use variables and statistics either to describe your variables, okay, or to analyze sample data and reach conclusion about your population with the sample data. So with the sample data you have in your hand, you can reach to a conclusion of the whole population. So with these, to analyze the data, we shall be using descriptive statistics, and to come to a conclusion of the whole population, we shall be using inferential statistics with the sample data, not with the population data, right? So as defined, these two are two different branches of statistics. One is descriptive and another one is inferential. So descriptive statistics, so it is usually done on large data sets. So this branch is mainly focusing on one, collecting the data, summarizing the data, and presenting that particular data. So descriptive statistics is something where we are showing what is happening in the data. So you are like mostly familiar with the branch of statistics, this part of the branch of statistics, because you will be seeing all these things. So average temperature of this particular day, what are your average marks, so what is the mean, what is the mode. If you talk about the mode, how many pieces of your particular product will be sold heavily in your shop, so that will be a mode. Highest amount of the numbers of one particular product is a mode. So these things are like your day-to-day life numbers. So descriptive statistics, as I told you, it is mainly used for summarizing and presenting a set of data which is in your hand. So as said, so we can do many things with descriptive. So once we get into the descriptive in detail, you will get to know. So like average marks, you're presenting the data, what all the bar charts you are doing, all this will be implementing and explaining your descriptive statistics of large amount of data. So it is very important because it enables us to present the data. Mainly it used to present the data in a more meaningful way. So it could be as in like your visuals, as in your mode, median, or average. So there are many other stuff. So interpretation of data is very much easy with the descriptive statistics. So next, let's get into the inferential one. So now we know what descriptive statistics do. It provides information about our group of data. So whatever the data which we have in our hand, it will be providing information of that group. But this inferential statistics is a branch of statistics that analyzes the sample data to reach conclusion. So as we were discussing earlier, so if we have sample data, so we don't have the whole population data, so we can never get the whole population data. So once we have the sample data, taking that sample data or analyzing that sample data, we will be reaching to a conclusion about the whole population from which the sample is drawn. So we shall be analyzing the sample data and come to a conclusion about the whole population. So when you use this inferential statistics, so we generally start with hypothesis. So if this is happening, what could be or could be done in future? So there are different hypotheses in the marketing or in the sales. So if we have changed, or so we were running a campaign. So before the campaign, the sales are about 100 millions. So once we run a campaign, the sales got drastically improved from 100 million to 200 million. So we need to check the sample. Is it because of the campaign or is it an accidental one? So we'll be having a hypothesis. So first hypothesis will be, so because of the campaign, the sales got increased. So that will be our hypothesis. And my null hypothesis would be, because of not the campaign, there is some accidental changes in the market, because there is so much of increase in the price or something, whatever it could be. It is an accidental thing. Because of that thing, your change or your profit got increased. So there are different hypotheses. So we come to a conclusion of the sales data of the whole population from the sample data, taking the hypothesis. So we'll get to know what actually the hypotheses are, how the things work with the hypothesis. So this is how, so we can be, so all the inferential statistics we shall be using for our predictions. So what all the things we are using? So algorithms, if you take a linear or a logistic one, so it will be taking the hypothesis and p values. What is the probability if the hypothesis this much, if the hypothesis this much, then the prediction would be this much. So we'll get to know that one also. So this is the difference between a descriptive and an inferential one. So now let's get into this descriptive part. So eventually we'll be starting with descriptive statistics, and then we'll be getting into the inferential statistics. So firstly, yes, we need to get into the descriptive part. So this is the part we need to get into. So let's get into this part. So typically there are two general types of statistics that are used to describe the data. So if you talk about the descriptive one, there are two types. So one is, so measure of central tendency and measure of spread. So to understand the data, there are two types of descriptive statistics we would be using. Not we would be, everyone would be using. So one is measure of central tendency and the second one is measure of spread.